right? So this is a noble, Four Noble Truth. Arya is noble and truth Satya, part 4. Okay, now we already finished the first one, dukkha, suffering. Then the second one, cause of suffering, cessation of suffering. And the fourth is the path leading to cessation of suffering. Sometimes we can call it in another way, okay? There's the path leading to cessation of craving because it's talking about cessation of craving is nibbana. And now this is the fourth is the path leading to cessation of craving, or that means that the path leading to nibbana. All right. So this is a cause, and then the effect is a enlightenment nibbana. Now for this topic, I will analyze according to some of the numbers here. You can see what are the 8 factors in the Noble Eightfold Path. There are 5 working factors. What are they? There are 10 factors, all right? And there are 3 groups, cause and effect, 3 phase steps, and then the 12 aspects in the Four Noble Truths. So these are my questions, and I will analyze them. All right, so for this talk, I will take some reference from few of the suttas. One sutta is the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. You heard about it before. It's the discourse on the turning of the wheel of Dhamma, right? So at first, the Buddha said there are 2 extremes not to be indulged in by one who has gone for. Which 2? That is which is devoted to sensual pleasures with reference to the sensual objects. That's Buddha call it as base, vulgar, common, ignoble, unprofitable. So that means there is more on the sensual desire, like enjoy all the good sight, good sound, good seeing, and this means that the life is full of enjoyment, right? So this one way of living. You can see a lot of people is more on this sensual pleasure, enjoy their life. Then there's another one which I think nobody really practice, only some people very seldom. It's a self-affliction. Affliction means a mortification where they self-torture themselves. Then the Buddha called this as painful, ignoble, and unprofitable. And avoiding both of these extremes, the middle way realized by the Tathagata, producing vision, producing knowledge, leads to calm, to direct knowledge, to self-awakening, and to unbinding. So this is when you study the sutta, there's always there's an introduction. This is the introduction for this Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. And then the Buddha asks a question, okay? What is this question? The Buddha asks, what is the middle way, which mentioned earlier? What's the middle way realized by the Tathagata that producing vision, producing knowledge leads to calm, direct knowledge, to self-awakening, to unbinding? This is a question asked by the Buddha, and the Buddha answered himself. Precisely this Noble Eightfold Path, right view, right resolve, right speech, right action, right livelihood, effort, mindfulness, concentration. This is the middle way realized by the Tathagata, that producing vision, producing knowledge leads to calm, to direct knowledge, to self-awakening, to unbinding. So this introduction is very important because here the Buddha said the Noble Eightfold Path, which is also called middle way. All right. So this Noble Eightfold Path, which mentioned as the 8 factors here, actually, even though it's 8 factors, it's actually it's an 8 cetasika, all right, mental factors. And this Noble Eightfold Path is called middle way. And what is the middle way? Middle way means avoid the 2 extremes. Right? The first one is sensual pleasure, means they enjoy all the sense desire, sense objects. Another one is a self-affliction or self-mortification or self-torture. So one should, even in our life, we should avoid these 2, all right? One is too much enjoyment, another one is too much torture ourselves. And we should practice a middle way. There's a Noble Eightfold Path, right? So remember here, Noble Eightfold Path means the middle way here. And here is another sutta, all right, which is explained in detail, right? Mahasatipatthana Sutta, right? So katachan bhikkhave dukkha nirodha gamini patipata arya sacha. So it's good to learn from Bali also, all right? So dukkha, suffering, nirodha, cessation, gamini is a leading, patipata is a path, noble, arya, sacha, truth. Ayamewa aryo atendigo mego. So noble, eightfold path, path is may go. Siyatidam. So the Buddha says Samadhi, Sama Sankapo, Sama Vacha, Sama Kamanto, Sama Ajiva, Sama Vayamo, Sama Sati, Sama Samadhi. All right, and this Pali and English. And what monks is the noble truth for the path leading to cessation of suffering? It is this, the noble eightfold path, namely right understanding or right view, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right efforts, awareness, mindfulness, and right concentration. So here the Buddha say very clearly in the Mahasatipatthana Sutta, what are the eightfold path and the perfector. Okay, now this is the in the listing. All right. So Samadhi. So I think when you learn the Noble Eightfold Path, you have to learn the Pali also. Samadhi, Sama Sankappa, Sama Vacha, Sama Kamanta, Sama Ajiva, Sama Vayama, Sama Sati, Sama Samadhi. Right understanding, right view, right thought, right speech, right action, livelihood, effort, mindfulness, awareness, and concentration. And when we study Noble Eightfold Path, we have to go in detail. Okay. So the first one is right view, right understanding. Okay. And what monks is right understanding? This is a copy from the discourse. That's why it has the like monks and so on. This copy from the text. Okay. So what monks is the right understanding? If it is the knowledge of suffering, the knowledge of arising of suffering, the knowledge of the cessation of suffering, the knowledge of the path leading to cessation of suffering. This monks is called right understanding. So in the Noble Eightfold Path, the first factor is the right view, right understanding, and it's very clear here mentioned this is the knowledge on the Four Noble Truths. So that's why you have to learn the Four Noble Truths. Like you come here to listen to this talk. This thought is on the Four Noble Truths because this thought gives you the right understanding. All right, so you need to have the knowledge on right understanding. That means that you need to have the knowledge on the Four Noble Truths and Eightfold Paths. And after the right view, when you have the right view, then it's followed by right thought or right intention. And what monk is right thought? Thoughts of renunciation, thoughts that are free from aversion, and thoughts are free from violence. This monks is called the right thought. Now here, we need to have some discussion or some question can be asked here. When the Buddha say renunciation, what does he let go? When Buddha say aversion and violence, what does he let go? Okay, in terms of in terms of the the three poison, right? So greed, hatred, delusion. Okay, greed, hatred, delusion. So renunciation is let go of. What do you think? Is it greed or is it hatred or is it delusion? Anybody want to write down the answer or fill in the blank here? Renunciation is letting go of. You can type your answer in the chat box. Greed, hatred, delusion. Which of these?
Great, Brother Ko say great.
Okay. All right. And how about aversion and violence?
Let's see, anyone right there? Hatred and delusions.
Okay, hatred and delusion. Okay, right. So renunciation means letting go of the greed or any craving. Aversion and violence is letting go the hatred or aversion. But actually, all this means that letting go of ignorance. Okay, but actually you see in a right view at this point you already start to let go the ignorance. So you can see here at the right view you start to let go the ignorance, and at the right thought you are letting go the craving and hatred, but at the same time you also start to letting go some of the ignorance. But ignorance take place mostly on the right view, because when person has the right view, then they know what to let go very fast. Okay. Now, all right. So, and what monks is right speech? Abstaining from lying, abstaining from slandering and backbiting, abstaining from harsh words, and abstaining from frivolous talk. Okay, now we can think in terms of greed, hatred, delusion. So you can write down your answer. Like lying is based on greed or hatred or delusion. Choose these three, or maybe you want to choose more than one, it's okay, also can. So lying is based on, you can write down your answer in the chat box. Okay, so any answer?
Lying
Okay, lying is a base of greed and or hatred. Okay. Okay, right. Okay, how about slandering and backbiting? It's based on
hatred.
hatred. Okay. How about harsh speech?
It's also probably hatred.
Okay, hatred. All right.
Mm.
How about frivolous or idle talk?
The one delusion.
Yeah, yeah, it can be delusion, but it's more on the also. Okay, when we say frivolous talk means that the person like talking, right? So he talk and talk and talk and talk. He talk nonsense. So in a sense, you can say it based on the greed also. You know, because they just love to talk, right? Okay, but you also can say it's based on the delusion. But actually, delusion among the these three evil roots, delusion is everything. All right, it's everything. So, okay, for example, here I'll write down answer. For example, hatred, lying, you can say based on greed, and based on delusion. Okay, and slandering is also based on evil or hatred, and based on delusion.
Delusions.
Yeah. And then the harsh speech is based on hatred or ill will and based on delusion. Okay. And frivolous thought is based on greed
and delusion.
and delusion. All right. So you can see everything there's delusion here. Okay. All right. So this is because this how we see, you know. For example, if we say the ideal thought or a gossip, gossip is based on greed because people like to gossip, so they love to talk. But sometimes gossip maybe if can based on the when people gossip, they also do the slandering. They also saying bad things about other people. So then it becomes slandering. Then it based on the hatred and delusion. All right. So it's how we see it. But normally, lying is based on greed because people can lie if they want to get some money from other people, then they lie. Then, for example, then they say something to get more money. Okay, or sometimes lying may be based on a hatred because they lie something they want to destroy other people, so they also lying. So it can be very subjective. It depends on the circumstances, but all of them should have the delusion. All right. So that's why right speech means extending from all these four. By one extending, by not talking, so one will not have delusion. All right. So this four is based on delusion. Okay, clear? Right. Now right action. So right action is very easy to understand. People know the five precepts. Five precepts means no kill, no stealing, no sexual misconduct. All right. So it's extending from the killing, extending from stealing, taking what is not given, and extending from the sexual misconduct. So this is very easy. So this means that if one don't do this, then one have the right action. Right action means against the wrong action. So killing, stealing, and sexual misconduct are wrong action. So by not having the wrong action, so one will have the right action. So you can think in this way. And what is right livelihood? Here amongst a noble disciple having given out wrong ways of livelihood, earns his livelihood by right means. So, and down there I take from the one of the sutta, Wanija Sutta, business, right? So monks, a lay follower should not engage in 5 types of business. Which 5? Business in weapons, business in human beings, business in meat, business in intoxicants, business in poison. Okay, business in weapons means buying and providing weapon, because when one's providing the weapon to other people, the other people will use the weapon to kill more human being or animals. So this is certainly wrong livelihood. Business in human beings means slavery, buy people and sell people to be a slave. So it's a very bad one. Business in meat means that it's the buying, killing like chicken, fish, and so on, buy and sell for profit. And intoxicants means that alcohol, wine, and so on, that even like drugs, they can cause the mind to get very confused. Business in poison means selling some of the poison things. Yeah, I think this is also easy. So when one does not do these 5 wrong livelihood, then one will have the right livelihood. So you can see everything is what Buddha says should not do whatever. If one do not do this 5, then one will have the right livelihood. Okay, now right effort. So right efforts is always, we mentioned before, there are always 4 kinds of efforts. All right, in terms of unwholesome, so there are 2. In terms of wholesome, there are 2. Okay, so you can study in this way. So this is an evil one or unwholesome one. Okay, and this is on the wholesome one. This is a wholesome, and this is an unwholesome. All right. So unwholesome means that the first thing that one should do is prevent. Means that the arising one, any arising unwholesome, one should prevent it. And if already arisen, one should eradicate or destroy it. This in terms of unwholesome. Okay, so in terms of wholesome means that one should develop that has not arisen. And those have already arisen, one should maintain it, multiply it, and make it full maturity to full development. Okay, so it's very easy to remember. So unwholesome is 2, this one 2, and then wholesome is 2. So together you got 4. So the efforts in terms of unarisen and arisen. Okay, so it's right effort. And right mindfulness. Right mindfulness is very clearly mentioned, is on the 4 foundation of mindfulness, right? So observe the body in the body, observe the sensation in the sensation. Sensation here means the feelings. Observe the mind in the mind, and observe the mental contents, Dhamma. Observe the Dhamma in the Dhamma. So right awareness or right mindfulness is about 4 foundation of mindfulness. Okay. And what monks is right awareness? Here monks among dwells ardent with awareness and constant Torah, understanding of impermanence, observing body in a body, having removed craving and aversion towards the world. That's the mind and matter. And then observing the sensation, mind and Dhamma. So this is talking about the 4 foundation of mindfulness. So you can have 4 foundation of mindfulness. Okay, of mindfulness. And right concentration, all right? So right concentration, according to this text, is talking about the first absorption, second absorption, third absorption, and fourth absorption. This means it's talking about first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, and fourth jhana, right? So, all right. So main thing, the best, of course, is one will get the fourth jhana, which is the best. Why? Because the best jhana is talking about is totally purified by equanimity and awareness. All right. So the mind is purified and the mind is have equanimity and awareness. So when the mind is no more disturbed by like pleasure and pain, joy, and so on. So the mind is very calm here. So this is the best state, right concentration on the fourth jhana. Okay, right. So now, if any question can ask now. If not, I will continue. Okay, there's one question just now
Mm.
by Brother Ko. Business in human being can be extended to other living beings. Normally human beings is talking about human beings. All right. So, all right. But in terms like other beings is talking about business in meat, where they like kill the chicken, kill the fish, kill the animals. They normally, why do people kill the why do people imprison the animals? Why they trap the animals? Because they want to sell it for profit. That means that it's a business in meat. But business in human being is referred to as slavery, where they keep the humans, sell it for profit. Okay, very cool. Okay, so any other question? I will continue. All right. Now, this noble eightfold path, you have 8 factors here. So you need to divide it. You need to divide it into 3 groups. So we call it 3 trainings. Normally you heard about Sila, Samadhi, Panya. All right. Sila is morality. Samadhi is concentration. Panya is wisdom. So there are 3 trainings here, and we're going to see how we're going to divide it. So Samadhi, right view. Sama Sankappa, right thought. These two linked together. That's why I put it together. All right. And Sama Vacha, right speech. Sama Kamanda, right action. Sama Ajiva, right livelihood. These 3 also together. So I put together. Sama Vayama, right effort. Sama Sati, right mindfulness, awareness. Sama Samadhi, right concentration. So now we're going to see how we're going to divide it. All right. So Samadhi, Sama Sankappa, right understanding, right thought. We call it the wisdom group, Panya. Second group is morality group, Sila. All right, because when people have right speech, means that like just now, they don't tell lies, they don't slander people, they don't have harsh speech, and they don't kill, they don't steal. There's a right action. They don't engage in the trading of human beings, and then poison and so on. There's a right livelihood. So all these belong to morality group. And finally, you have the concentration group, Samadhi. All right, Samadhi means that it's to do with meditation. So right effort on the object, right mindfulness on the object, right concentration on the object. So this Samadhi group. So normally we call it wisdom is number 1, or morality is number 2, and concentration is number 3. All right. So normally according to sequence here, right? So Panya, Sila, Samadhi. But according to the teaching is 3 training. You're supposed to train on Sila first. You're supposed to train on this one first. Then you're supposed to train on Samadhi. Then you train on this. And finally, the Panya come here. So in terms of the sequence, so this means that the listing here is Panya, Sila, Samadhi. But according to 3 training is Sila, Samadhi, Panya. So there's a little bit contradiction here. Okay, then we can go to next page to analyze why the Panya is not put here in the beginning space, okay, in the beginning part, but why the Panya is put at the last part here, Sila, Samadhi, Panya. This is the last one. As a 3 trainings, Sila training, Samadhi, Panya, Samadhi training, and Panya training. Panya is the last one. Okay, so to understand it, we can study here, all right? So normal sequence is 3 trainings, okay? Sila, Samadhi, Panya. Like just I mentioned here, Sila, Samadhi, Panya. All right. So Sila is morality, virtue, right speech, right action, right livelihood. And then Samadhi means right effort, like mindfulness, like concentration. And finally, you have the wisdom, right view, and right thought. That's according to the training. Training means that according to Buddha teaching, you're supposed to train on your morality. Then when your morality is good, then you meditate, you got the Samadhi concentration, and finally you got the wisdom. This is normal sequence, all right? But the actual sequence is we should go for number 1. Number 1 is Panya, all right? What is Panya? It's a Loka Panya or Loki Panya, means that the worldly knowledge. Worldly knowledge means that you should get to know more the Dhamma knowledge, like you need to know the karma and result, Four Noble Truth, and Noble Eightfold Path. So when you get to know the Dhamma teaching, you hear about more Dhamma, so you're more interested to, because you're aware of the karma and result, so that's why you want to go for number 2. Number 2 means that, okay, when you know about karma and result, then you are more interested to observe precepts. So you go for Sila, morality group. All right. So finally, when you observe 5 precepts, then you are willing to observe 8 precepts. Then your mind, you can have a more concentration. Then you can meditate. Samadhi group is more on meditation. So you focus on meditation objects. So after the Sila, you have the Samadhi. Based on your Sila and based on your Samadhi, then you have Panya. It means the result of meditation. You have a wisdom here. Okay. So you can see there are different sequences here. In the training here, I mentioned again, I'll repeat again, all right? 3 trainings, Sila, Samadhi, Panya. But actual sequence is for the worldly knowledge, Panya. Panya first, then Sila, Samadhi, Panya. But this Panya is a result of meditation. This Panya is just here the word Panya is knowledge. This is just a normal knowledge, right? Or worldly knowledge or the book knowledge. Okay, so I go for next one. All right. So it's also very important for you to know. We call it the 5 working perfectors, Karaka Maganga. Right. So in the meditation, actually, there are only 5 factors you really need to focus only. All right. So in meditation, what do you need to know? In meditation, you always go for Dhamma talk. Why? The more you hear the Dhamma talk, you will have right understanding. When you have the right understanding on the like Four Noble Truths, Eightfold Path, on karma and result, then you start have the right thoughts. Right thought means that there's no letting go the sensual desire. You have the thoughts of renunciation, thoughts of a non-evil. All right. And you need to have effort on meditation. Okay. You need to like do walking meditation, sitting meditation, always be mindful on meditation object. Then effort and you got awareness on the meditation objects. Then you got the right concentration, means that your mind can focus on the object of meditation. All right. So actually in meditation time, you need to focus on this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's why in meditation time, they are called working perfectors, because you need to work on them and make them active. Right. So right view, right thoughts, contemplating mind matter. Right. So effort, mindfulness, concentration work together, focus on object. But the only thing that you don't need to do is this morality group, speech, right action, right livelihood. Sama vacha, sama kamanta, sama ajiva. Why? Because when somebody observing 8 precepts or 5 precepts, all right? Or at home, they have 1 hour, so they just sit down, meditate, observe 5 precepts. They already fulfill these 3 factors. So that's why these 3 factors are fulfilled when you observe 8% or 5%. That's why you don't need to work on them. The only thing you need to work on them is these 5. So these 5 are called 5 working perfectors. So this kind of Dhamma you can hear when you go for any insight meditation. So they always talk about this Karaka Meganga. All right. And also, when the Noble Eightfold Path is, we are mentioned about this, but we also need to know there are also 10 factors. So with the Noble Eightfold Path, you can plus another 2 factors. So this you can hear from some of the discourse, not all, but sometimes you can hear, right? So you have the Samadhi, Sama Sankappa, Sama Vacha, Sama Kamanda, Sama Ajiva, Vayama, Sati, Samadhi. So you have the right understanding, right thoughts, speech, action, livelihood, effort, mindfulness, concentration. Then when you fulfill your this Sila, Samadhi, Panya, your morality, your concentration and wisdom group, then you start to have a right knowledge or insight, Samanyana. This is talking about Vipassana knowledge. Then until all the way to Magapala, path and fusion knowledge at the moment enlightenment. Then there will be a right liberation, deliverance, release, sama, vimutti. So this means that the Noble Eightfold Path, you can plus another two factors. We call it the right knowledge and right release or liberation. So totally, there are there are 10 factors here. Okay. Okay. So Noble Eightfold Path. So we also need to understand in terms of cause and effect, you know. So here, when people have the right understanding, it's a cause. So because like they start to hear about karma and result and noble eightfold path, or about doing good is good and should avoid the doing bad, then they start to write thoughts, the thoughts of renunciation and no evil. All right, so this is cause and effect. Okay, so in terms of practice, when people have right effort and right mindfulness on meditation object, then they can concentrate, they can focus on object. So this is the effect here. So cause and effect. This is cause and effect. Okay. You also can see some other cause and effect. All right. For example, the right understanding, right thoughts is a cause. And then because when they have the right understanding, right thoughts, so they have also the speech, action, livelihood. Okay. Yeah, the A3 is down here. Okay, all right. Okay, so there are even more, a lot of cause and effect. All right. So you can see Samadhi, right thoughts, right understand, right thoughts, speech, action, livelihood. The previous five, the earlier five is the cause, and the effect will be on the Samadhi group. Samadhi group means that people have a right effort, mindfulness, and concentration. So you can see the cause and effect in this way also. All right, this means that when people have a right understanding and then the right morality, then they can meditate better in meditation. So there will be effort, mindfulness, and concentration. Okay, so later I'll talk about this another one. Okay, so before I go for that, any question up to now? All right, I will continue some more. If no question, any question? So that's why when people go for meditation, you know, why you need to observe the noble silence. Because when you don't talk, the moment you don't talk, then it's also a good cause. Then your mind become more, can focus well on meditation. Because the moment you talk, first you will disturb people. Another thing, you will disturb yourself. Because when you want to talk, the desire to talk itself is make your mind not calm. All right. So it's important to observe noble silence when you go for meditation. So in a meditation retreat, you need to observe 8 precepts. So for those who have medical problem, they need to take some food. They can just take some like drinks or Milo or Holy sometime, and then they take together with their medicine. So in a way, they also can observe their precepts in the meditation time. All right. Any questions so far? You know, I will continue. Okay, so I already go through these 8 factors, right? Like understanding, thought, speech, action, livelihood, effort, mindfulness, concentration. Okay, this is in detail. And I already mentioned how should we break it into 3 groups. All right. And how should we see in the normal sequence? And then what is the 5 working factors that you should work on when you are in meditation? All right, only these 5. And what are the 10 factors? Okay, now I think previously got somebody asked me this question. What is the 12 aspect you heard in the Four Noble Truths? There are 3 steps here. So what is 3 steps? All right, so you can see. In the first truth, there will be, this is a statement mentioned by the Buddha himself, okay? This is the noble truth of suffering. Thus, because in regard to things unheard before, there arose in me vision, knowledge, wisdom, true knowledge, and light. So the first statement, this is the first steps or first phase. This is the noble truth of suffering. So the person who meditates should understand the noble truth of suffering as a first step. And second one, this noble truth of suffering is to be understood. All right. This means that they need to practice meditation to understand the noble truth of suffering as a second step. And finally, this noble truth of suffering has been fully understood. This means that when they practice meditation, they really understand, has been fully understood, means that they already understand the noble truth of suffering. So there are 3 steps for this first noble truth. Similarly, on the second noble truth, there are also the 3 steps. All right. So the first step is this is the noble truth of origin of suffering. First, this means that they must listen to Dhamma talk or understand there is this origin of suffering, which is a craving. And as a second step, the noble truth of origin of suffering is to be abandoned. So they have to make effort to abandon the craving. That's the origin of suffering. So as the third step, the noble truth of origin of suffering has been abandoned. That means that at this step, they already successfully abandoned the craving. So as to this second noble truth, there are also 3 steps. Then the third noble truth is about Nibbana, right? This is the noble truth of cessation of suffering, which is Nibbana. Thus, because in regard to things unheard before, there arose in me vision, knowledge, wisdom, true knowledge, and light. So they have to understand there's a Nibbana here. And this noble truth of cessation of suffering is to be realized. So they have to realize Nibbana. So this means that they have to practice insight meditation to realize Nibbana. Finally, the noble truth of cessation of suffering, which is Nibbana, has been realized. So at this point, they already realized the Nibbana. So the fourth noble truth is on the Noble Eightfold Path. So this is the noble truth of the way leading to cessation of suffering. This is the Noble Eightfold Path. And the second step, this noble truth of the way leading to cessation of suffering is to be developed. Is to be developed means that they have to develop the Noble Eightfold Path at the second step. And finally, this noble truth of the way leading to cessation of suffering, which is the Noble Eightfold Path, has been developed. Has been developed means they already developed the Noble Eightfold Path. So this means that for each truth here, there are 3 steps. All right, 1, 2, 3, you can see. Second truth of those 3 steps, third truth also 3 steps, and fourth truth also 3 steps. So because of all the 3 steps here, so 3 steps you times with the 4 kind of noble truth, you have the 12 aspects. All right. Okay. So this means that the 3 steps, and you have to time with 4. 3 times 4, you got the 12 aspects. So this is called 12 aspect or 12 aspect, or sometimes they call it the word phase also in the Four Noble Truth. And this is the conclusion, all right? Conclusion in the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. So long because as my knowledge and vision of these Four Noble Truths as they really are in their 3 phases and 12 aspects. Okay, this is the 12 aspects mentioned just now, was not thoroughly purified in this way. I do not claim to have awakened to the unsurpassed perfect enlightenment in this world with its devas, Mara, and Brahma. Mara and Brahma is also gods, higher gods. Yeah. In this generation, with its ascetics and Brahmin, its devas and humans. But when my knowledge and vision of these Four Noble Truths, as they really are in their 3 phases or steps, and 12 aspects, was thoroughly purified in this way, then I claim to have awakened to the unsurpassed perfect enlightenment. Perfect enlightenment means Sama Sambodhi. In the world, we is Devas, Brahma, and Mara and Brahma, and its generation with ascetics and Brahmin, Devas and human. This the knowledge and vision arose in me. Unshakable is the liberation of mind. This is my last birth. Now there's no more renewed existence. Okay. So when the Four Noble Truths arose to the Buddha, so the Buddha already know this is my last birth. So he already know he attained the stage of Arahant. Arahant means that the highest enlightenment, and he know that there are no more renewed existence in the future. So this is the conclusion of the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. All right. So if no question, I will go for Q&A. So this is kind of like summarized, and we are going to here. Okay, what are 8 factors in Noble Eightfold Path? So I think you all know the answer is, so you have to go to the beginning, right? So Samadhi, Sama Sankappa, Sama Vacha, Sama Kamanta, Sama Ajiva, Sama Vayama, Sama Sati, Sama Samadhi. So you have to know the Pali also, right? Understanding, right? Thoughts, speech, action, livelihood, effort, mindfulness, and concentration. All right. So you have to remember these 8. And what are 5 working factors? Okay. To get these 5 working factors, you have to minus the morality group. Why you have to minus morality group? Because by taking the precepts before the meditation, all right, like a precept or 5 precept or whatever precept that you can observe. So you only need to work on the five working factors, all right? And 10 factors means that it's the 8-fold path, right? Plus the right knowledge and right deliverance. So you got the 8 plus 2, you got 10. The 3 group will be Sila, Samadhi, Panya, morality, concentration, and wisdom. There are many cause and effect, right? 3 phases are 4 noble truths times 3 steps. So you got 12 aspects. Okay, so last question. So anybody can remember what is the sutta mentioned just now? Actually, I mentioned 4 suttas, you know. Anybody can remember? That's your IQ.
Which one?
Right.
Dhammacakkappavattana
Sutta. Okay.
Sati
So
Maha Sati Patana Sutta.
Okay. Yes. What is another one? Yeah, another one.
There's another one on the 4 Noble Truths in Majjhima Nikaya.
Wanija Sutta.
Wanija
Yes.
Sutta. Yes.
Yes, on the business. Okay. Then there's another sutta mentioned about the 10 factors. Another sutta mentioned about 10 factors. So anybody can remember?
10 factors sutta.
Yeah.
I
think maybe
liberation. The one is Maha Chatta, the Majjhima Nikaya 117.
Okay, you can remember the number. Grade 40 sutta. All right.
Maha Chatta.
Right. Okay.
Chattarisakha.
Chattarisa. Oh, yes. Okay. Right. So. Okay, let's go.
Chattarisakha Sutta.
Okay. Maha, great. Okay. Chattarisa is 40. Maha Chattarisa Risaka Sutta. So 117. All right. Okay, good. Okay, so I finished all my finish here already. So any question on this or any question on the previous one? Anything anybody want to?
Just to clarify about Samadhi, the right view or right understanding. So you mentioned it's just to right understanding on the Fourth Noble Truth. Yeah.
Yes.
But I come across, I think some speaker also mentioned that Samadhi in Majjhima Nikaya chapter 9.
Okay.
So you need to have a voice of another to tell you this, like Sagi. And number one, we must have the Sada to the Triple Gems first. Then only you can have fully understanding of Fourth Noble Truths.
Okay.
Then apart from that, I think we also need to have the knowledge of right and wrong, mainly
Okay.
the knowledge of loba dosa moha, aloba dosa moha. And then
Yes.
also need to understand the anicca dukkha anatta.
Oh yeah, there's lots of right understanding. Yeah.
Is it and
Yes, a lot.
plus
Yeah.
paticca samuppada.
Yeah, there are many. So normally it will be on main thing will be on Four Noble Truth. Like now, this is the main thing, Four Noble Truth. And then of course you need to know like cause and effect. For example, like paticca samuppada, like even like patana, all these are cause and effect. And cause of it, if you want to know cause and effect, you also need to know what karma, because karma is a basic. If people don't accept the karma, they cannot be a Buddhist, you know. So simply, so Four Noble Truth, which is mentioned here, and karma, and then the paticca samuppada, and there are also some of the right view is on like jhana or vipassana. Okay, I think there are about 9 or 10, right? But the main focus on the today's Dhamma talk is on the Four Noble Truth. That's why the text, the one I extract, is only talking about Four Noble Truth. All right. Yeah, it's a good question here. Okay. Yes. So next question.
I have a little bit of confused about, we thought about you need only 4th jhana.
Yes.
Like
yes.
here mentioned jhana 1, 2, 3, 4, but sometimes they mention there's jhana 5, 6, 7, 8. What is that all about?
Okay, normally the we call it the rupa jhana. Rupa jhana is a material jhana. There are 4. Okay, and then if you plus the arupa jhana is another kind of like jhana without the material. So we call it arupa jhana. So it's 4. So plus 4 plus 4, you got 8. So 8 jhana. But here, according to mention here, you only require you to have a 4th jhana, because 4th jhana is the most stable. At this point, there's no joy, no happiness, it's only equanimity. So that's why 4th jhana is good for those who want to practice like psychic power and so on, right? But normally, if somebody can get 4th jhana, is the best. Another type, according to Abhidhamma, there are 5 jhana. So 4th jhana is 1, 2, 3, 4 is according to Sutanda method. 5th jhana, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is according to Abhidhamma method. Why? Why is the difference? Because you have 5 jhana factors. So in Abhidhamma, you have to get rid one, get rid one of them together, one by one. Finally, you left only one. So in Abhidhamma, it's a 5 jhana or 5/4 jhana method. Okay. But the key point here is why people need to get jhana is for them to have a calm, concentration mind. So for those who practice vipassana, so if they find that their mind is so restless, they have no any concentration. So at that time, some of the, even like the Chamye Meditation Center, they also ask the yogi to practice metta. Okay, because they practice metta, they radiate metta to themselves, and then they radiate metta to all the beings. Then they have some good concentration, their mind calm down. So after they practice this samatha, then they can change to vipassana. Okay, and also there's another question people might always ask: in the vipassana, is the jhana or not? You know, sometimes people confuse. They say, if people just practice dry or direct vipassana, is that jhana or is that not jhana? Okay, so the best way is just don't think about jhana. So the moment the mind calm down by itself, somebody might enter to jhana, somebody might not. But one should not have that kind of strong wish, because sometimes strong wish to attain jhana itself is become a thought. You know, it's kind of like I want jhana. So the mind getting more restless. So let it be natural. As long as the mind has like effort, like mindfulness. Okay, effort and mindfulness is the cause, and then the concentration is the result. Okay, so you have effort and mindfulness, automatically you have right concentration. Okay, right. Okay, next question. All right, any question?
Vandari Sayaji. I just see my understanding is right on Sila
Yes.
Pamia.
Yes.
The path must proceed with the understanding of the nature of the suffering, its origin, cessation, and path leading to its cessation. So if one does not have the right understanding, one will not follow the path. So therefore, if right understanding is considered as the forerunner of the all factors, so it really a prerequisite for the path and indispensable factor for the progress of the path. Am I right?
Yes, yes. Right understanding is the most important one. Yeah. Okay. Right understanding. So if people do not have right understanding, they will practice wrongly. Okay. That's why right understanding is the most important one. Okay. For example, let's say, just give you an example. Okay, you all want to go to, right? You want to go. Let's say you're from KL. Now you want to go to Penang or JB, right? So if you want to go to Penang, you have to drive to north. If you want to go to JB, you have to point your direction to south, right? So if you point wrongly, you go all the way wrong, right or not? So if you want to go to Penang, you drive to south. So what happened? After you drive 4 hours, you go to JB, right? So right understanding like this. So when you have right understanding, you point at the right direction. So when your mind is on the right direction, you just continue. Okay. So right understanding is when you hear about like a Four Noble Truth, about karma, especially for all the Buddhists, the basic knowledge is on karma. So when they hear about karma, they know that they should not kill, no steal, no sexual misconduct, no telling lies, no intoxicant. So because of the right understanding of karma, then they start to observe the 5 precepts. Then they go for meditation, they also 8 precepts and so on. All right. Okay.
Sally, here.
Yes.
Can I ask a question? Because now we are talking about the jhanas.
Yes. Okay.
Actually, achieving the jhana, actually the purpose is to suppress the 5 hindrances.
Yes.
Okay, when Sally say you come out from jhana and then you go to vipassana, the clarity of mind will be better. So what I understand is when we get out from the jhana, the hindrances will still come back. So when we do the switching to vipassana, don't you think the 5 hindrances will come up again?
Let's say somebody, when they go to the first jhana, the 5 hindrances are suppressed, or temporary, we call it the word temporary suppressed at that time. So after they go to first jhana, then they come out, then they change to vipassana. So immediately when they come out from jhana, the hindrances will not be come back so fast. Not so fast yet, you know. It's only after, let's say, they leave the jhana for a long time, then when they have more wandering thoughts and so on, or any unwholesome thoughts, then the hindrances will be strong and strong. But right immediately after they leave the jhana, actually the mind is still quite pure. All right. So at that point, it's the best one for them to change to vipassana.
Okay. It means immediately you have to switch to vipassana, not after
yeah,
a period
of course. Okay.
After a period.
Okay. That's the purpose of practicing the jhana. Why? Because for their mind to be pure, so they can change to vipassana.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Next question.
Sayagi.
Yes.
Can I ask? Okay. On the 10 factors for liberation,
All right.
We always was told that the 9 and 10 is the result of it, the right knowledge or insight.
Okay. Yes.
But then I thought after having jhana, then coming out from jhana, then we have to direct the mind towards the insight, that means investigation. Then only the knowledge, the wisdom part, panya part will come up, right?
Right. Yes.
So how can that right knowledge be considered as the results? There is a certain amount of effort to direct the concentrated mind towards the wisdom aspect of it, to the insight. Then only the right knowledge will come up. Then after right knowledge, then only the right liberation. Okay, if you say right liberation, vimutti is the outcome of the panya, then I would probably be able to grasp it. But to have the right insight without effort, would that be possible? Thank you.
Okay. All right. Right knowledge here is talking about vipassana knowledge. Vipassana knowledge, you know, there's 16 types of vipassana knowledge. So especially like Sankarupika Jnana and then Samho and then Anuloma and so on. So these have to be practiced to the vipassana. Okay. So to practice vipassana, this means that so all this is to do with meditation. So somebody had to practice whether either insight meditation or samadhi meditation. So when they get this is already on the morality group. Okay. So after that, they practice meditation on effort, mindfulness, concentration. Then they get this vipassana knowledge. So vipassana knowledge is the result. Okay, this is the result of the previous action. Okay. Is my is it clear or not, Brother Ko? Do you understand the meaning of samanyana? Jnana, the words jnana here?
Jnana is the knowledge, right?
Vipassana jnana.
Right knowledge.
Vipassana jnana. We call it the vipassana jnana. This vipassana jnana is you have to practice it. It will not come by itself, you know. There are 16 vipassana jnana, right?
Okay.
Okay. Right. This jnana is not same with this. This is called panya. Okay. Sometimes we call it panya, but panya has two meanings. Sometimes it's a worldly knowledge or what. Sometimes we call it samadhi. This one and this one is not same. Okay. These two and these two are not same. All right.
Saji, Jane.
Yes.
Will Saji go further to your talk on the 16 knowledges? Will you expand to that? Because I'm interested in that. Because I'm into meditation. I'm seeing the inside, but there are a lot of knowledges inside there which I cannot discern.
Previously, I gave in a Chinese for the Chinese group about this 7 Visuddhi and 16 Vipassana Jnana. So at that time, you go and hear it, right? But you don't understand the Chinese, right or not?
Yeah, I don't understand. That was the 16 knowledges. Because
yes.
I hear it, it's like so weird. What kind of thing is that?
Yeah, it's a Vipassana Jnana. So maybe next time.
Maybe check with Dr. Gan to see the participant whether they are interested or not. If they are interested, maybe Sally can expand to that. Thank you, Sally.
Yeah.
At least you will have one listener here, Jade.
Yeah, but they also need to invite other speaker, right? Yeah. Okay. Yes. Okay. Any other question?
Sayagi, another question. On the Fourth Noble Truth, the 3 aspects of it. So if one has developed the 3 aspects of Fourth Noble Truth, is as good as having automatically developed the 3 aspects of Third Noble Truth as well, right?
Sorry, your question again. If they have automatically, yes.
That means if one has practiced the 3 aspects of the Fourth Noble Truth,
all right, yes,
then wouldn't it be as good as practicing Third Noble Truth of the 3 aspects as well?
So if they're practicing the 4 Noble Truth, so they will be practicing Third Noble Truth.
Yes.
All right. Yes, you can say in a way, because 4 Noble Truth, there's the Eightfold Path is the cause, and Third Noble Truth, which is the Nibbana. Yes. Yeah, it's correct. Because Nibbana cannot practice directly. You have to go to the 4th Noble Truth. 4th Noble Truth is the method. Okay. So by this 4 Noble Truth, which is the Noble Eightfold Path, then you go to the Third Noble Truth, right? That's why we talk about cause and effect, because you need to know what is the cause, you know, right? So all right. So the path leading to cessation of craving or path leading to cessation of suffering, the Noble Eightfold Path is the cause. And then the cessation of craving, the Third Noble Truth is the effect, right? You can say in that way also. Yeah. But the Buddha personally want you to go one by one according to the text, you know. So when we read the text, we also You know, some people always ask, why can some of the Arahant, by listening to the Dhamma talk, they become enlightened very fast? You know why? The reason is because the Dhamma talk is arranged in a sequence. So when the mind hear the Dhamma talk, they automatically start to contemplate in the right sequence. By when listening in the right sequence, so slowly, like this is suffering. This suffering is should be understood like this. So in the sequence, so when they hear in sequence, their mind also develop in the right sequence. That's why they can gain enlightenment very fast. All right. So sometimes we have to practice according to the sequence in the Dhamma talk. Like now it's talking about 4 noble truths with the 3 steps. So we have to go step by step, step by step, right? Then the understanding will be clearer. Of course, for Nibbana, everybody had to go through the middle way or Noble Eightfold Path. Okay. All right, Badako, thanks for asking this question. All right.
Okay, thank you. Can I ask another one?
Yes. Okay.
Okay, because I think in Burma, I think there is this concept of practicing Abhidhamma in daily life or Noble Eightfold Path in daily life, right?
In
So
where?
how in Burma?
Oh, Burma, yeah, Myanmar, yes.
So I thought they try to make Abhidhamma as a daily practice as well. So something like Abhidhamma in daily life. So indirectly, they are also practicing Noble Eightfold Path in daily life, right?
Normally, you're talking about for those who go to meditation center, yes. Then it also depends on which meditation center. Some meditation center, they focus on different kind of practice, you know. But Noble Eightfold Path is automatically in there because when people practicing, they have to see the suffering in the mind and body. That's already the first noble truth. Then they need to let go the craving, right? But for those teachers, sometimes they will give profound thought on Abhidhamma, like mind and matter, the mental factors, and then the like different types of like how they go very detailed into different type of Cetasika and so on. Then they practice accordingly. But normally, if somebody start to see the suffering of the mind and body, that's the best because they start to understand the first noble truth. Then slowly they let go the craving. There's a second noble truth. Then to let go of craving, they need to practice the Noble Eightfold Path. And slowly, if they have good parami, they will attain Nibbana. All right. So it also depends on which center, how much they want to follow Abhidhamma, or they are more towards the Vipassana, or they are more towards the Samatha practice. Right. So generally, everybody will have to practice the Noble Eightfold Path, but we don't really use the word like everybody practice the Abhidhamma way or no. Okay. All right, Brother Ko?
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Silent.
Okay. Yeah.